Somebody asked yesterday about it. So we learned yesterday that if it's an einus or a shoygig, then you could do tashlumin. Now you could daven again. But if you're totally potter, like a Hatzalah guy was on a call. The chari you potter, not you're potter. You're not. I don't think you. I don't know if you should daven a tashlumin. This guy went to the doctor today.
Are you considered Inus?
I'm saying he went to a doctor, then he went to they rushed him to X-rays or radiology, then to a neurologist. Does he have to daven 2 Myrivs? His shiloh was whether he has to do talamata. He wasn't asking me whether he has to daven 2 Myrivs. So I just answered him that he does say yes, talamata twice. That's what we learned yesterday. Right? So I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't have it clear when we draw the line between Shaygig Einus and more than that. Okay. Let's see. Gimel. Yeah. Sif Chav. Siman Chav Aleph. Sif Gimel. Zayin Tashlumin L'Tfila B'Tfila Hasmuchala. There's no tashlumin for davening, only with the davening that comes immediately after that. But if it goes too long, Ein La'ay Tashlumin has no tashlumin. Kagain. Let's say a guy was on a tzala call from, and assuming that he would have to daven again, assuming that we pass him that tzala guys would have to daven again. So he mincha, as I mincha yesh tashumin. So he could fix mincha with ma'ariv la'achar arvis asmuchala. He can finish. He could daven 2 shman esers by ma'ariv that will cover him mincha. Ava shachris ein lo tashumin. Shachris is gone. Right, so there's no tashum with that. Even shavar shtei zmanei tefillah shleis palo. Since 2 zmanei tefillas daven that he didn't daven, that he passed that he didn't daven. So that's shachris and mincha. So then loy bismana loy bisman mincha. Right, not in the heat because he didn't daven not in the regular time by shachris and he didn't daven in the zman mincha. So therefore he's out. So you can only do tashlumin in the next mincha, the next time slot. Right? Then also we should never know from it, but an oval, he doesn't discuss it here, but an oval or an einin. So should an einin do tashlumin? Because an einin is not allowed to daven. Let's say the burial's in the afternoon. And should he daven shachris? Or should he daven 2 minchas? Right? The chayri is potter. So that's a machlokes whether he should or he shouldn't. Okay, dalet. B'yom sheyesh by musaf, but in a day that has musaf, you're allowed to daven shachris after mincha, even though musaf, meaning we're saying that you could only do tashlumin if you didn't miss 2 zmanei tefillah. So the problem is that here you did miss 2 zmanei tefillah because the zman musaf is till chatzos lechatchila. B'diavad it's a whole day, but lechatchila is till chatzos. So he did miss 2 zmanei tefillah. He missed shachris, and he missed musaf. So you should no longer be able to daven mincha. So the Kitzur says, no, that's not the case. You are allowed to do tashlumin. To kivan this man, I'll read the parentheses. Kivan this man tefillas musaf b'diavad ara layla kama mincha. Since b'diavad musaf is good until the night, like mincha. That's not called 2 zmanei tefillah passing. Ula'achar tefillas musaf any yochel hashma tefillas shachris. And after tefillas musaf, you cannot be mashma tefillas shachris. To kivan shemaska b'korban musaf, ain't a ruya shatalu tefillas shachris. Meaning, he's saying that if you already daven musaf, then there's no tashlumin for shachris. But if the zman tefillah shachris did not yet pass, meaning let's say on Rosh Chodesh, so right, we discussed this, you forgot Yahweh, so you're supposed to repeat. So we're saying even though if a person daven musaf in the afternoon, he's not allowed to daven shachris anymore, a second mincha for shachris. But if you already daven musaf in the morning and it's still before chatzos, then a person is allowed to daven Shachris. All right? Meaning you're just saying you're not, Musaf doesn't knock you out from Shachris. If for whatever reason you daven Musaf, you're still allowed to daven Shachris. Right. Hey, ain't Tashum in the tefillah shehifsid, ela was not tefillah smuchah. All right, it has to be in the zman tefillah that's close to it. Not in the time that it's not zman tefillah. What does that mean? Let's say you waited a long time after the davening, after you daven the next tefillah. Then you can no longer daven the tefillah that you lost. It only works for the when you're being Isaac and davening. Once you finish davening and then you hang out for a couple hours and then you realize 1 second, I didn't daven, let's say with Myra. You daven Myra, 2 hours later, you realize you forgot to daven Mincha. So according to what the kids are saying, you cannot do tashlumin. You have to do tashlumin only when you're being Isaac in the tefillah. Shas given to Isaac but tefillah who masham gamkein mashachasa. The Mishnah Berurah disagrees with this. The Mishnah Berurah says, lechatchila, of course, you should do the tashlumin, but b'di'ever, as long as it's still in the zman tefillah, it's allowed. All right. But then again, you get into that you should do it with a tanai, like this, in case you're potter, you make a tanai that it's an adova. Okay, this is above. Tefillah tashuma chumaspal, the tefillah of the tashuma that you're davening, chayv l'spal kamosh chumaspal oz b'tefillah sachayva. So you have to daven the way you're davening the tefillah that now, meaning, well, we just discussed it before we started. Because going in loyespal mincha be'erev Shabbos, if somebody didn't daven mincha erev Shabbos, mispal arba shtayim shel Shabbos, you daven 2 shmona esrei of Shabbos. Al bisha shniya bo l'tashim tefillah schol. Even though the second shmona esrei is coming for the weekday, and you're not davening weekday, you're davening 2 Shabbos shmona esrei. Shabbos. Since right now is Shabbos, mispalo shel Shabbos, you daven shel Shabbos. And the same thing, what this shaila was, is somebody knows that they didn't daven mincha, they're davening 2 myras, do they say the same talamota twice? And the answer is yes, based on this Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Right? Te'im ispalo shel chol, chayzer mispalo. Not only that, but let's say the guy made a mistake, and Friday night he davened tashlumin of weekday, then he has to repeat. Same thing in Rosh Chodesh. It's 2 myras. And he says in both of them yalav yov. Let's say he didn't daven myra in Rosh Chodesh and mispal shachris shtayim, where he's davening shachris twice and shokach yalav yov. Afilu b'shniya, if he forgot yalav yov, even in the second shmona esrei, chayzer mispal. Meaning, even though normally we said that in Rosh Chodesh you don't repeat if you missed by myra. And this guy didn't daven Ma'ariv at all, so he has to daven 2 shachris, and then he forgets in the Shemana Esrei Yalav. So you would think that he shouldn't repeat because nobody repeats if you say it if you miss it by Ma'ariv, but still that you still repeat, right? Chayzel Mispal, you still have to go back. Afal Gav, he says in parentheses, Afal Gav Tashuman Halayla. Even though it's Tashuman Halayla, Baz Lo Hoya Chayzer. And if you daven Ma'ariv and you forgot Yalav Yava, you wouldn't come back. Right now it's day. So therefore, and day you do repeat if you forget Yalav Yava. Again, the Mishnah Berurah disagrees with this and says you should not repeat. Shabbos, Shabbos, if you didn't daven Mincha, Mispal Arbes Gamkein Shtayim Shel Chol, 2 weekday Shmona Esrei, and sheyesh chiluk ba'atachan antonu. But there is a chiluk ba'atachan antonu. But Rishayna Aimer atachan antonu. And the second, you don't say it, even though he just got finished saying that both Shemana Esreis have to be exactly the way it's supposed to be daven. So why here by Motzei Shabbos, Atuchan Antonu, you only say in the first Shemana Esrei, not in the second? But Tam Bezek, even Atuchan Antonu, who can have Havdalah? You don't make Havdalah twice in Shemana Esrei. Meaning, all you have to use. The reason why we're saying Atachan Antonu is to do Havdalah in davening. You did it in davening. Why should you? It's not a part of davening like Yalav Yova is or Saint Halomotar. It's just to make Havdalah in davening, which you did. Huadin lahepech. If you forgot Myra Motzei Shabbos, Mispal Shachris Shtayim, if the daven two Shachris, Tfilas Atashlumen Atachan Antanu, and in the Tfilas Atashlumen you say Atachan Antanu, Vishemikar Atachan Tzarach Lahavdol B'Tfilah, because in the Ikar Takana you have to make Havdalah in Tfilah,
Even if you said Havdalah?
Even if you said Havdalah.
And you don't do it in the first one, you do it in the second one.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not sure I understand why though. Why not do it in the first? Mishra also declares whether you shouldn't say it at all on some. Maybe Atachan Antanu is only meant for Motzei Shabbos. Okay, Zayin Tobar Rosh Chodesh b'Mincha. This is an interesting shayla. Tobar Rosh Chodesh Mincha v'lo Yomer Yalav Yaveh. Let's say by Mincha on Rosh Chodesh you didn't say Yalav Yaveh. Ulamachar ain't a Rosh Chodesh, and the next day is not Rosh Chodesh. So now he's got to daven two Ma'ariv. Im Kain, if so, even if you daven two Ma'ariv, you're going to gain nothing. You can't say Yalav Yaveh anymore because it's no longer Rosh Chodesh. And if you're already davening without a Yalav Yaveh, then you're already daven. You do not daven at all for Tashlumin. Right? Meaning, you're not gaining anything by davening. You daven Shemona Esrei without Yalav Yaveh. That's why you need to repeat. So what are you going to do? Repeat it again on the Ma'ariv after Rosh Chodesh is over? So what are you doing? Saying Shemona Esrei without a Yalav Yaveh? So what? You already did that. Right? So the Kitzur is paskening that you don't do it. There are those that hold that you should do it, and I think the Mishnah Berurah, if I remember correct, says do it within the Dava. Daven the second Shemona Esrei as with tonight that it's in the Dava. All right. Fine. Musaf, even though it's proper time, is the whole day. V'imkein having Ma'ariv Tfilas Muchala. Ma'ariv is the tefillah that's closest to it. If somebody did not have a musaf, there's no tashumin at night. So the tefillas musaf niskana mishum unashalma params v'seinu. The reason why we daven musaf is because unfortunately we don't have karbanos to bring in the Beis Hamikdash. So by saying them, it's as if we're bringing them. We know that there's no karbanos brought at night, so we missed it. So you missed it. Okay, testing you. Let's just finish for tomorrow. Mishu tzarich l'spal shachar shtayim or mincha shtayim. Let's say somebody had to daven two shachars or two minchas. In ushliach tzibur, he's the chazan. Yaitz v'mashu chayzer as a tefillah v'kol ram. He would be yaitz. So if you want to get out of it, you need to do tashlumin. So be the chazan, and then you'll be yaitz your tashlumin that way. Yod mishan estapik loy im espal loy. If somebody's not sure whether he davened, v'zman hazeh. Nowadays that we don't daven within the dava, you do not go back and down. Meaning, once you're mesupik, so you would think that you should daven within the dava, but no, we don't do that because we hardly concentrate on our Shemona Esrei, so therefore we don't do tefillas nedavas. So tonight it seems like that will do, right? Because the Tanai, meaning it could be that the Shemona Esrei was legit. Right? Here, it's just a suffix whether he davened or not. So then he does not go back and daven. Yeah. Okay. We will stop there. Everybody should have a fine night. We should hear Basuras Tavis.